Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really powerful idea from the book, The Psychology of Laziness. And it's a huge promise, right? The idea that you could squeeze a decade's worth of progress into just 6 months. How? Well, it all comes down to one single principle: action over absolutely everything else.
So let's just start with something I think we all feel. That frustrating gap, The one between knowing what you're supposed to do and actually doing it. You've got the plan, you've read the books, you know all the steps, but actually taking that first one, man, it can feel like trying to move a mountain.
So, the source material we're looking at today makes this incredibly bold claim. It suggests there's a way to literally compress time, not by adding more hours to the day, because that's impossible, but by completely changing how we use the hours we already have.
Okay, let's get into it. The first big idea here is something I'm going to call the action paradox. And trust me, it really challenges almost everything we've been taught about what it really takes to get ahead. You know the drill. We're always told that success is for the people with the highest IQ, or the most natural talent, or the ones who know the most. We get stuck thinking, if I just learn one more thing, read one more book, then I'll be ready. But here's the thing. The book argues that that's all a myth. The real game changer isn't what you know. It's what you do, day in and day out. All that knowledge without any action? It's basically just fancy trivia. Action? Now that's the real currency of achievement.
And that idea leads us to this really crucial shift in thinking. It's time to stop staring at your calendar and start paying attention to your internal battery. See, the game isn't about time management, it's about energy management.
And this right here, this highlights the huge flaw in how most of us think about productivity. We are obsessed with saving time, right? But think about it. What good is an extra hour if you're so exhausted you can't even think straight? The real goal isn't just to have more time. It's to have high-quality, high-energy time that you can actually use.
We've all had those moments, right? Those days where you just feel completely unstoppable. You're in the zone, you're in a state of flow, and things just click. Well, the key here is to stop waiting for that feeling to show up by accident and start figuring out how to create it on purpose.
So how do we do that? How do we generate this super-powered state whenever we want? Well, the answer isn't in some new productivity app. Nope. It's actually in our own brain chemistry.
Let's talk about dopamine. A lot of people call it the happiness hormone, but that's not quite right. It's really the molecule of motivation. It's the chemical that gets released that tells your brain, hey, that was good, let's do that again. It's what drives us to move forward.
And that's what creates this amazing positive feedback loop that we need to build. It starts small. You take one small action. You get a little win. That small win makes you feel good. That's the dopamine hit. And that feeling makes you want to take another action to get that feeling again. See how it works? This cycle, right here, is how you build unstoppable momentum. It's how work stops feeling like this awful chore you have to do, and it starts feeling more like a game that your brain actually wants to play and win.
All right, so let's look at how all of this builds into what is really the ultimate competitive advantage you can have in any field. And spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with being a genius. It's all about the grind.
I mean, you've probably heard this quote before, but it is the absolute truth at the core of this whole idea. Consistency is the great equalizer. Just relentless, consistent action will outperform lazy talent every single time. It's not even a fair fight. 100 to 120. What is that? Well, that's supposedly how many hours a week Elon Musk works. We hear a lot about his intelligence, but the book argues his real unfair advantage is the insane volume of action he takes. Success at that level isn't just about having good ideas, it's about a relentless, almost inhuman level of pure execution.
And you see this with all the titans of industry. Think about it. Warren Buffett is not still working in his 90s because he needs another paycheck. He's doing it because he's addicted to the process, to the game itself. These people have basically hacked their own brains to get that dopamine loop to fire from their work instead of from distractions.
Okay, this brings us to our final and maybe the most important point of all. We have to understand the real, tangible price we pay for inaction.
According to the source material, there is a single habit that has destroyed more potential, more businesses, and more dreams than anything else in history. And it's that simple, deadly choice to just put it off, to say, I'll do it tomorrow, because tomorrow is where our ambition goes to die.
3,190. So what's that number? Well, after you account for sleeping, working, and just basic life stuff, the author calculates this is the average number of extra hours we have every single year. These are the hours that just vanish, minute by minute when we're scrolling or just
doing nothing. It adds up to a shocking amount of lost potential. To really get the true value of time, the book poses this incredible thought experiment. Imagine you went to an 80-year-old billionaire and you offered them a deal. Trade your entire fortune to be 20 years old again, but you get to keep all the knowledge you have now. What do you think they'd do? I mean, the answer's obvious, right? They would take that deal in a nanosecond.
And that's the whole point. The asset that you possess right now, your time, your energy, your youth, is literally more valuable than a billion-dollar fortune to someone who's lost it. You are walking around every single day with an asset of almost incalculable worth.
So that leaves us with just one final, provocative thought. You are so much wealthier than you think you are. And knowing the true, immense value of the time you have, what's the very first action you're going to take to invest it wisely?